I had to reach back a little bit this week in doing some sermon preparation. Back to my undergraduate days, and had to do a little research and all. But I'd share with you this morning that this is Narcissism 101. Or how to identify our vanity problem, which is getting more absurd and outrageous every day. Vanity of vanities, the teacher says. All is vanity. And the author of Ecclesiastes is convinced that the whole human existence can be described by this single word, vanity. The teacher takes a cold-eyed look at the world, and certainly this isn't the person to turn to if you need a little cheering up, folks. If you need a little cheering up, don't go turn to Ecclesiastes, okay? Because you're not going to particularly find it there. All is vanity, he insists. All is worthless, meaningless, absurd. The teacher surveys society and spots extreme pride in human appearance and accomplishments. He looks around and sees narcissism, excessive self-love, and admiration. Our world has a vanity problem, according to the teacher, and it's getting worse. There's the groom who won't let his bride's overweight friend be a bridesmaid because he doesn't want to mess up the wedding pictures. There's the woman who has such impeccable taste that she routinely redecorates her daughter's home without asking. Then there's the guy who thinks he's so handsome that he takes a selfie every night before bed just to preserve the moment. And then there's the parents who believe that their children are so gifted and talented that it would be a supreme injustice for them to be not denied the chance to attend the elite university of their choice. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. According to Psychology Today, narcissism can range from an annoying tendency to a serious clinical disorder. And we aren't talking about people who imitate the character of Narcissus, the patron sinner of self-lovers. He was a handsome young man of Greek mythology who withdrew from the world, content to gaze forever at his reflection in a pool of water. He would have loved selfie sticks of today. People with this kind of glamastic vanity are pathetic. They're basically harmless. No. See, real-life narcissists desperately need other people to validate their own worth. They're celebrity wannabes in search of their inner Beyonce. They're reality show contestants who want to become famous for being famous and will do anything to get on television. They're the parents, if you remember, of a balloon boy involving their child in a dangerous stunt to draw attention to themselves. It's not so much about being liked. It's much more important to be admired. Studies have shown that narcissists are willing to sacrifice being liked if they think it's necessary to be admired. And this craving for admiration is a red flag. One of the clearest signs of narcissism. It pops up in weddings, in home decorations, in cosmetic surgery, in college admissions, among others. So how can we spot this tendency in ourselves and the people around us, and what can we do about it? We can begin by looking at the book of Ecclesiastes as a field guide to narcissism. The teacher of Ecclesiastes begins by applying his mind to seek and search out by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. And he examined all the human deeds that are done under the sun. And what does he conclude? All is vanity and a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking, he says, cannot be counted. Now, at first glance, this seems to be a completely depressing picture of life. It's hard to accept that the teacher believes that absolutely everything is meaningless and that nothing crooked can be made straight. But remember, the first characteristic of a narcissist is that they need to be admired. They win a trophy in an office sports competition, and they carry it around for months. They cover their walls with awards and plaques and pictures of themselves shaking hands with famous people. The balloon of their self-esteem is punctured by the assertion that all is vanity and chasing after the wind. The teacher is saying, folks, that we can't get our self-worth from our accomplishments. We shouldn't be admired for our human deeds. Instead, our worth comes completely from being children of God. Our worth comes from being children of God. And that means that we are all equal in the eyes of the Lord. Every single one of us are equal in God's eyes. And I'll tell you what, folks, narcissists hate that. They hate that. The teacher goes on to say, I hated all of my toil in which I had toiled under the sun, seeing that I must leave it to those who came after me. And who knows whether they will be wise or foolish. Yet they will be master of all for which I have toiled and used my wisdom under the sun. This is also vanity, he says. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely correct in insisting that the fruits of our labors will be passed down to the generation that follows. And this is a great frustration to narcissists because they have a deep desire to be at the center of all things. The truth of life is that our days are numbered. And our time on earth passes quickly. And we were talking today down in the open door class about as the older you get, how much more quickly time seems to pass. And unless we're willing to be team players and pass our insights and our accomplishments to our children and grandchildren, we will find ourselves frustrated and unfulfilled. As country music star George Strait sings, "You don't bring nothing with you here, and you can't take nothing back. I ain't never seen a hearse with a luggage rack." Scripture asserts that we're created from the dust of the earth, and to the dust we shall return. In the first of his letters, Peter says, "All flesh is like grass, and all its glory like the flower of grass. The grass withers and the flower falls, but the word of the Lord endures forever." You see, both the teacher and Peter have a profound insight into the transience of human life. We grow and we wither like grass, while the word of the Lord goes on and on and on. Only God, folks, remains at the center of things forever. Only God. And the teacher concludes by asking, "What do mortals get for all the toil and strain with which they toil under the sun? For all their days are full of pain, and their work is a vexation. Even at night their minds do not rest. All is vanity." The final characteristic of narcissists is that they tend to be blind to their own faults. They blame others when failures occur or when an effort isn't successful. Their behavior on the job is marked by temper tantrums, unreasonable expectations, and shocking selfishness. They simply cannot believe it when their work causes them pain, frustration, and sleepless nights. It doesn't seem fair to them, and they're anxious to pin the blame on someone else. But the teacher says, in effect, get used to it. Work is hard and often thankless. But this is the nature of life in the real world. You're a fool if you expect your efforts to give you satisfaction that only a relationship with God and your neighbors can give you. Of course, it is exactly these types of relationships that are missing in the lives of most true narcissists. Moving beyond vanity begins when people discover that they cannot find self-worth in accomplishments, cannot remain at the center of things forever, and cannot enjoy success and satisfaction in every endeavor. You're not going to be blessed in everything you do. Only when narcissists ask, "Why does my life seem so empty?" can they begin to make changes that will give life some meaning. Changes that allow them to enter into truly life-giving relationships with God and the people around them. Jesus teaches us that God, not ourselves, should be at the center of our lives. And that the greatest of commandments is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And he goes on to say that the second commandment is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. focus on God and neighbor is the opposite of narcissism. And it's the antidote to vanity. But notice, Jesus isn't asking us to despise ourselves. No, he says that we're to love our neighbors as ourselves, stressing that we should love ourselves as valuable people made in the image of God. The solution to narcissism isn't self-hatred. Instead, it's a set of healthy relationships with God, with self, and with the people of God around us. In a world of vapor and mists, this is where we find a solid, meaningful life. In God and in God's people around us. This is God's word.